Righty, I am genuinely pumped for this. I hope you are as well. And if I haven't yet, I apologise for a little bit stuffy in the nasal cavity, dazzling. Getting a little bit sick at the moment. I'm telling you, living with a 4-year-old is, well, I also live with my partner. It's not just me and him. But, yeah, just everyone warned me, you're going to be sick a lot. And I have been. So, let's kick things off. So we got ESPN, we got Cal Twomey, we got the Phantom Form Guides. I saw the tweets that these had come out whilst I was working. So I'm looking forward to reacting with these. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. And of course my mock draft will be out come the end, well, close to the end of July. So let's see where we're at. The new number one, I'm excited for. Considering Josh Smiley didn't have the greatest carnival, and he's been Jasper's, my man Jasper, number one at ESPN. This could be a couple of players. I hope it's Jagger Smith. I just think he's the perfect fit for Richmond at the moment. Sid Draper had really good championships in the back end from memory. I don't think, even though he was really good, Harvey Langford, I don't think he would be number one at this point, but let's have a look. Who is it? Oh, okay, there you go. Sid Draper, the South Adelaide boy, pretty good numbers there. 21 touches, nearly 4 clearances, 3 marks. It's not, compared to previous seasons, it doesn't look like the greatest statistics in the world, and especially when you had the social media ability of Harley Reid to post his highlights. We haven't really had that all year, which for me has been fun. And the complete opposite take to my AFL Ladder is Cooked video, which if you haven't checked out, check out. I love the fact that so many of us disagreed. I love that about sport, being able to disagree. And everyone's been so polite about it, which has been amazing. So, Sid Draper at 1 is interesting. I like it. I don't mind it. I do like Sid a lot. I really do. And I think all the Adelaide fans that were upset with me that they took Finn O'Sullivan over Sid Draper in my June mock draft might be thinking, in a big way. So, okay, there you go. Wonder if Cal agrees. I doubt it, but we'll see. Okay, my man Jagger's at 2. Actually, I don't know if he is my man. And I don't say that disrespectfully. It's more of a, I haven't really thought about who my favourites are so far. But they're elite clearance numbers. Like, they're the championship numbers that make you go, oh, wow. I still have Jagger going to Richmond at pick 1. I probably will over the next 2 weeks unless something drastic happens. I just can't see how they wouldn't consider him strongly. And there you go. Spent a large chunk of each game resting forward. Did notice that. Watching it a little bit. Whisking the ball from congestion into open space. Pretty handy. I'm not going to read the entire thing to the group, but Jagger at 2, I like. Again, hard to hate opinions. Opinions are opinions. Look, I think Jagger Smith right now is the number 1 kid in the country. That's where I stand, but I don't mind the Sid Draper call. Yeah, Leo Lombard was awesome. Small, but geez, he's powerful. Joint Lark medalist, he was too, with Harvey Langford. So he's going to be a gun. And considering now clubs can have full access to their academy players, which is bullshit and an inequalised way to look at the draft. I don't like academy bids. I don't like matching picks. I don't like the father-son rule. I really don't. I think it's a compromised way of wanting an equal league. Sorry, it's an incomplete way of getting an equal competition. We preach equalisation and then we'll never get it. And shit like this is why. But what can you do apart from whinge, right? But yeah, this kid's a gun. He's footy IQ up to his eyeballs, really. Best linking play in transition. Nice. Love that. Finn O'Sullivan at 4. Again, 2 games, 11.5 disposals. He just needed to be fit, and he was in the back end, so that's fair enough. I'm still of the belief that he just needs to put form together. In such a midfield-heavy draft, exposed form is going to be key. And I don't expect him to slide to, say, like a pick 8 or a pick 10 or something like this, but, geez, there is a big part of me that thinks to myself, how much do you take on being 16 and 17? I still think there's merit in it, but yeah, I don't know. But fingers crossed he's fit, because you watch any of the footage of his underage year and, oh, my God, man. But yeah, he's underdone for now, but that's fine. Cousin of Sam Walsh. Awesome. Would be pretty cool, the two cousins, if they were both the number one picks. Josh Smiley, who didn't make the All-Australian team, I noticed, of this season, which is really interesting. But he rounds out the top 5 for Jasper there. Quite a big drop from 1 to 5, to be perfectly honest. But under 20 disposals, what can you expect? I can say him being like a Patrick Cripps. I really can. Gross clearance numbers, tackle numbers, big-bodied frame, 194 centimetres. It just makes a lot of sense. But going at 56% by foot through 4 games is not great. Not great in the slightest. So if we go from Jasper now, we'll flick over to Cal. How different is his top 5 going to be? Extremely. Okay, Levi Ashcroft at 1. Sure. Okay. Interesting. But across nearly 3 seasons now, Ashcroft has put together one of the best draft CVs we've ever seen. Yes, he was awesome in the last 2 seasons. He's had really good moments this year. Really played a bad game. Yeah, fair. I mean, he's not bad, don't get me wrong, and I'm not hanging shit on him here. Averaged 27 for the Dragons, 25.5 and 3 clearances across the 4 Carnival games. So they're just really good numbers, but yeah, that is quite a difference in opinion there between not top 5 to number 1. Wow. Big Levi. Do like him though. Really do. There you go. Smiley at 2 for the same reasons that we know, so I don't really need to go through this too much. So Big Josh, where's my man Jagger? There's Finn, so a lot of faith in Finn still. A lot of faith in Finn, which again, I don't mind. Do not mind at the moment. Overhead marking, running ability and skills make him an exciting midfield prospect. Being an overhead marking midfielder is so underrated, and one of the many reasons why Hawthorn fans loved Liam Shields, who, of course, if you look at comparisons, we can probably agree Finn O'Sullivan could be a better player than Liam Shields is, but his ability for a bloke his size to mark above his head was extraordinary. But Finn's there, which we like. There you go. Harvey Langford, the Lark medalist, getting rewarded. 190 metres really helps him, and you guys know me, love a tall midfielder. The Dandenong Stingrays boy. Yeah. Left-footed, and he's over 190 centimetres. If he's not in my favourites list come, I don't know, mid-August, something has gone drastically wrong. Joint winner of the Lark medal, so 25.5 disposal, 6 clearances, 6 inside 50s. Handy. Yeah, massive fan. And glad he got that recognition as well. Didn't make Jasper's top 5 either, which is interesting. There you go. And Murphy Reid, who's put together some really, really good form, giving away 10 centimetres, but does have that forward craft. And yeah, the Silken class, absolutely. And speaking of his game against South Australia, there 3 goals from 31 disposals and 8 clearances. There's a club in South Australia that could use him. But they're an interesting side at the moment, the Crows. Dowling, Zach Taylor, Daniel Curtin's playing midfield time in the Sandfield. Do they even need to draft another one? You know, could he become that pseudo half-forward player? But their core of their midfield's still young. So who knows? But still, like him a lot. Jeez, he's a good player. But yeah, use some dash. His ability to break away from contest, awesome. And I love this comment by Cal here too, just having a look. He's fun to watch. And we love that boy, our players. So let's see what he's doing here, back end of the top 5. My man Jagger, beautiful. Already touched on Jagger quite a lot, so don't need to do a whole lot there. Moves like Jagger, oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, I thought my puns were bad. Yeah, Lukey Trainer, 194 centimetres. He was named at fullback in the All-Australian side, and I get criticised quite a bit. Does Luke Trainer, you don't see him as a back shoulder key defender, as a rebounder. Are you sure? Yeah, I am. Do you know who else is 194 centimetres and playing as a back shoulder defender at the moment? Jack Scrimshaw, who's having an amazing season. But Jack Scrimshaw, in a fully fit Hawthorn team, is Hawthorn's third choice as a key defender and probably third choice for a rebounding defender and can fill both of those. And if you're getting from Luke Traynor for 200 games what you've gotten from Jack Scrimshaw for these 12, give me all of it. This is not a criticism at all, but the full back part of the All-Australian team isn't as position-specific. Josh Weddle was the full-back. He hasn't played full-back for Hawthorn more than once, and the once he did was on Charlie Curnow. It didn't work. The only thing with Luke is I struggle to see how, at his undersized height, how he is going to be any team's number one key defender. But how he can be someone's Luke Ryan, how he can be someone's James Sicily, how he can be someone's Jordan Ridley, I can see that in a huge way. And I think he could be genuinely anything. I really do. Hello, Adelaide, in terms of good fit, but I digress. Oh, there you go. Traynor is a tall defender in the mould of Jordan Ridley. There you go. Excellent. Cool. Covers everything. It did kick the goal after the siren. What a garbage decision that was, though. But, that's Vic Bias for you. I have a feeling that someone's not going to understand that. But anyway, Sam Laylor, yeah. Speaking of blokes that are rapidly rising up my draft boards as well, Sammy is one of those. I love his size, 187 centimetres, as you can see there. Greater Western Victoria, so, mate, they're tough out there. Tough. But explosive talent, yeah, he's had some injury issues. His ability to finish in front of goal as well is just top-notch. Top-notch. Given he spent most summers and pre-seasons in high-level cricket programs, there you go. He's got that fend off. We love that as well, but he is rapidly rising up as well for mine, and I think he is a real target for now Freo's first pick rather than their second. So if they don't end up landing a Shea Bolton, who they've offered like 7 years to. Wow. All right. Who are we going with at 9? Sid Draper. Old city boy, 180 centimetres. The midfielder from South Adelaide. Yeah, couldn't have done any more last season. And I love coming into, the first half, if you will, of a year. And we pretty much are at that halfway point. So we still obviously got August, September, October, November. We don't have too long left of the under-18 season sort of around the competition either. But I love knowing that in the first half of the year, just what these kids have done previously, because we can't watch everyone. And I knew of Sid coming into this year. But what he's been able to do this year has been slightly down. Injury doesn't help, right? There you go, shin stress fracture. Came back for the second half, did beautifully. South Adelaide, Sandful team here, 27 and 10 tackles. For Sandful, and we remember what Jason Horne-Francis was doing in the senior side, right? They're seriously good numbers, and I am not one to cast aside Sandful numbers, because yes, blokes can do it in the under-18s. That's fine. You can do this against men. That is huge. Huge. And to finish off Cal's top 10 here, who are we missing? Bo Allen's at number 10. Wow, okay. All right. 191 centimetres, as we know. So midfielder defender, which is interesting because where I saw, might have been rookie me. I could be wrong on that. I had someone listing him as a midfielder forward originally, and even then I was like, that doesn't sound right. There you go. It was a back injury. I actually couldn't find what injury he had, but there you go. Big body midfielder in the style of Adelaide star Jordan Dawson. Yeah, but is that because he's a rangy left footer, or is that because of how he goes about it? Because when it says he started the year as a mobile defender, but clubs like him as a taller midfielder, that makes a lot of sense. It does in terms of a player comparison, and we do like bringing these across. I'm not really a massive fan of player comparisons, to be honest. Josh Ward was Zach Merritt, and Josh Ward hasn't played like Zach Merritt at all, and he didn't even really see it a whole lot in his draft year, for example. But anyway, I hope that wasn't as disrespectful to Josh Ward as it sounded, because that's not what I meant. They're just two different players. All right, let's go back to ESPN here. and see where they are at. Sam Layla at 6. There you go. Risen up some draft boards. I like it. We've talked about him a lot, so that's why I'm sort of skipping through here. Levi at 7. So there you go. 7v1. And Sid Draper 1v9. Now, I'm probably closer to Jasper there in terms of Sid. And I'm probably closer to Jasper with Levi as well. Maybe Jasper will want to come on the channel. I hope so. I love talking draft with people. There you go. 1v7. That's a big gap. I like it. Do I? I don't know. I think I like the differing opinions. Toby Trevelyan at number 8, who hasn't been seen in Cal's Phantom draft yet. But rebounding defender, 21.8 disposals, over 8 intercepts. Holy Scheisenhausen. Holding free kick and gave away the abuse 50-metre penalty. I mean, don't abuse the umpire, can't give away the 50. I kind of get that. But, yeah. Anyway. Led intercept marks with 3.5 per outing and used the ball at 85%. Probably for me is very club specific. You know, does your club in the top 12 probably need a rebounding defender? And if that answer is yes, he might be a guy who is seemingly reached on. I'm not sure. But alas, we shall see. All right. Looks the goods, though. Does Big Toby. Luke Traynor at 9. I'm happy with that range. We've spoken about him a bit. And there you go. Harvey Langford fits in the top 10 there with those really good. I think 10's too low. I'm probably more in agreement with Cal here. But I like it so far. 10's. Let's keep going. Xavier Lindsay, who was named on a wing in the All-Australian team. 22.7 disposals. Good clearance numbers. Really good marking numbers for 183cm midfielder there. Yeah, his first half was enormous. 6.3 score involvements and 449 metres gained whilst being a quick and classy left footer. Sold! Love it. I have liked Langford the entire way. But yeah, beautiful. Love that. Joe Berry getting some love at 12. He is the best small forward in this group. Joe Berry's got this ability to just go ball in hand through goals. Sorted, right? Crazy good. And sometimes that's just what you need. And it would have been a real discussion of him v Keiko for Essendon, but now that they're going to be able to match a bid, that entire thing's, fucking pointless, which is annoying. But Joe Berry is going to be a guy that could genuinely go 8 and could go 16, depending on, again, club needs, which is a huge way up in terms of where these guys will go, team fits or whatever. Like Nick Watson to the Hawks, whether you thought that was a good pick or not, was definitely club need at the time because being centre forward was so important for the Hawks. And look what he did against the Giants, against Freo. Yes, please. But yeah, Joe Berry's a gun. And as a bloke that can just put the ball through the sticks. Yep. Taj Hodden did the ACL, unfortunately, so I haven't seen a whole lot of him. But yeah, 29 disposals on average as a pure forward mid. On terms of pure talent, I think he's the most underrated player in the class. And to be fair, he's only massively underrated because of his ACL. But I think he's going to be the epitome of diamond in the rough. I reckon he could be. Right, Brody Kemp was that player a couple of years ago. He did his ACL. Carlton picked him up. And he's turning himself into a good footballer. Taking a while to find his feet as sort of that intercept third defender. But what Taj Hodden could do with, in his second or third season. So you're looking at like your 2026 rising star. Taj Hodden could be the man to do this. So I like that in a massive way. Isaac Keiko, there you go. Him close to Joe Berry. Essendon will get him. Highlight machine. Machine. So the new NGA rules, the Bombers are going to pick him up. If you haven't watched my mock drafts yet, big fan. There's not many guys in July who I'm not a big fan of, to be fair. Right? And then the top 15 rounded out with Bo Allen. We've already seen Bo in Cal's top 15 here. So I'm liking the differences in opinion here that we're seeing at this point in time. So if we go back to Cal here, all right. So Leo, that's who was missing that I wasn't thinking of before. Lombard was 3 for Jasper, 11 for Cal. I disagree with Cal. I think massively. Yeah, 11 is way too low for me. Way too low. Okay. Interesting. Now, no, it's not a mock draft or anything like that, but 11 for Leo Lombard is... Wow. All right, Taj Houghton just spoke about Taj. So that's all well and good. Toby Trevalier at 13. That probably sits more right with me, to be honest. For Big Tobes. 14, Harry Armstrong. Geez, if there's a guy who improved his draft stocks this year. So I've noticed so far, 15 of 14, so 29 players. Well, they're not 29 because they're mostly the same. Notice we haven't seen either of the Whitlock brothers here yet. Notice we haven't seen Harry O'Farrell here yet in terms of your taller players. So Harry being the first key position forward's really interesting. Kicked 5, of course, in the championship game, which rockets him up the board massively. 195 centimetres, that's still pretty short. But I know at 18 years of age, he's still got some growing to do. I understand that in a massive way. But yeah, kicked 3 against South Australia, ripped Vic Country apart with 5 goals. Yeah, he was awesome. But yeah, Cal makes a really good point. His contested marking was excellent. Booted 4 for Sandringham a few weeks back. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I know Hawthorn have got Mitch Lewis with the ACL. I know we've got Cole Shadir. I know we've got Marby or Chol. I know we've got Jasper Scaife, the mid-season draftee. I just want to keep an eye on him for my boys. And then there you go, there's Keiko in the 15. So I think at this point in time as we sit here, the only player that hasn't been in both yet is Joe Berry, I think, is the only one. But anyway, we're close to that point. But Keiko we've already spoken about a little bit, but we'll keep continuing on with Cal. We'll see where he's at. Massive differences here, though, which I'm loving. Xavier Lindsay, we've spoken about Xavier already. So that's nice and handy. Joe Berry, we've spoken about. Nice. So filling out this gap nicely. There you go. There's our first Whitlock brother. Jack is still ahead of Matt, which is interesting to me. Both of these boys are all bones, though. Not a lot of muscle. But yeah, 200 centimetres. You guys know that I love Jack. First game of the year was a 4-goal fall haul from 20 disposals against Tasmania. Very Jamara Ugle-Hagan-esque against the Blues there. Put him on the radar as an early pick. I'm just not sure he's had the body of work so far to get him as, you know, one of these guys. Quite Matt Jefferson-like in a way, although Jefferson did kick 7 in one of his games in his draft season. So, you know, think of that what you will. But I just worry that he's going to need decent time in the gym. Although, you know, his arms don't suggest he's skinny, but body-wise, he's still going to need some work. Cooper Hines, I want to shout out a couple of people in my comment sections that keep telling me to look at this kid in a massive way. I started, you know, watching Vic Country, and he was standing out in a good way. And I have a feeling he is going to feature in the mock drafts in a couple of weeks' time. Really like what I've seen. Danny Stingray's boy, local to Daz. Grew up in Narrow Warren. I did. Don't hold it against me. But averaging 27 touches for the Stingrays across 8 games. That's pretty handy. 14 goals at the level as well. Kicked 5 against the Suns. That's pretty handy. But 27 and 3 snags against the Oakley Chargers, which is more than handy. Was really good for Vic Country, though, and really stood out. Being able to watch those games in more fullness or to a greater completion than under 18s games at that point in time. And yeah, Cal uses the word explosive there. Goal-kicking midfielders are at a premium right now. You look at Warner, Chad Warner, and you look at Isaac Heaney that have had 15 games between them, having 20 and 2. They're the best players in the comp. 20 and 2 guys, they really are. All right, and we'll finish Cal's top 20 with Tom Gross, a guy who's kind of been thereabouts in a few of my mock drafts so far. The grunt, I like that, but footy smarts. And what we love about footy smarts is you can't teach footy smarts. You really can't. And he's got it in spades. I like it. Contested and uncontested player. I think he is more of a contested player, so can mark overhead well, which we love. But I reckon once he can get that outside part of his game progressing, he could be a gem, a genuine gem for a club out there. All right, let's see if Jasper's next 5 can somewhat match up. Oh, there you go. There's a big difference. Murphy Reed, 16 for Jasper. Number 5, I think he was for Cal. That's an extraordinary difference. Top 10 considerations. Yeah, fair enough. Doesn't really say why he's dropped so low. That's okay. But quite a big difference there. I do like Murphy Reed. I do. I think I'm probably with Cal on that one. Maybe not 5, but probably closer to that end. Alex Dodson, the ruckman. This is really hard for me to put into my mock drafts because basketball and footy is still the decision for him, as Jasper wrote about. And I think it might have been Jasper's article that sort of got me watching Alex more. Where does he fit? But this isn't a fantastic ruck draft, really, at this point in time. And I was a massive fan of the rucks in last year's draft, Mitch Edwards being my man in last year's draft, obviously. But I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. Needs to build strength to win more hitouts and become a better contested mark. Well, Tim English, in 18 completed games this year, has not led a game for hitouts once. Zero, nada, hasn't happened yet. So do you really need to win more hitouts? Well, you can be an All-Australian ruckman and not really do it. So, who knows? But can't wait to see what happens with Alex later on down the road. Job Shanahan, massive fan, 194s. This guy, just watching him, has got Jack Gunston written all over him. He does. And by key forward target, so did Gunners, and especially after Buddy left, he did become the athletic number 2 there, even though the Hawks did have Hale, and of course throughout 2015 had Schoenmakers there in the back half of the year. You probably do need that bigger body around him. But Job to a Geelong works just so beautifully. I think Job to, an Adelaide, but they've got Tyler Welsh there, so that can make sense. I think Job to Carlton makes an abundance of sense in terms of what he can do. Vertical leap, sticky hands. I know they've got Charlie. I know they've got Harry. But what he's able to do to create space, he won't need to be a contested marker. He won't need to do any of these things. And in one-on-one scenarios, he's still a gem. Massive. And considering we haven't seen the Camporeale brothers here yet either, Carlton may be able to use that first-round pick at this point. Christian Moraes from 8 to 19. Haven't seen him for Cal yet. Reminds me a bit of Bailey Smith. I'm not going to lie to you. A little bit. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. Don't mind it. Doesn't execute his set shots. Well, Bailey Smith's not the greatest kick inside 50, so we can forgive both of them for that. But nearly 21 disposals, which we don't mind. And even in 4... Well, how do you average 0.8 goals in 4 games? That's 3.2 goals. That's interesting. Okay. Sure. Should be, speaking of the bullshit NGA rules, should be at Hawthorn next year, but he won't be. Because his dad was in Brazil, so he doesn't qualify as a part of the academy. Thanks, AFL. Awesome. But does you hate the academies anyway? Yes, I do. Not the point. All right, Harry Armstrong at 20. We've spoken about Harry already in the tall, so we can do that. Let's keep moving. Oh, there you go. Ben Camporeale at 21. Maybe take back everything that I said about Job Shanahan ending up at the Blues, but my God, this kid's a talented footballer. Won the MVP for South Australia. We love that. There are better athletes and kicks at the top of the pool, but yeah, so what? Blokes have won Brownlows that aren't great field kicks. Nat Fyfe's not a great field kick. Patrick Dangerfield's not a great field kick. Matt Priddis was not a great field kick. What does that have to do with much? Paddy Cripps, not a great field kick. Ollie Wines, not a great field kick. All Brownlow medalists. Now, I'm not saying Ben's going to win one, but, who knows? That'd be pretty cool. Kale, this young man's last name. Now, I think it's Guerin. I think. I could be wrong. The Ruck prospect, Ruck forward, 199 centimetres. I'm sorry, whenever I see forward Ruck or Ruck forward, I will always think of David Hale. It's who I am. Don't judge me. But up forward is where he's best suited. I mean, clubs will be a good judge of that, but I like it. I like the fact he's got that duality there to his game. Incredible athlete. Love that. Tom de Koning, maybe? In terms of what it could sound like. Haven't had a whole lot of watching of Kale. Didn't watch a whole lot of Western Australia just yet. But before the mock draft, I've still got time. Looking forward to doing that. We've spoken about Jack Whitlock already. Haven't seen Matt yet. Haven't seen Lucas Camporeale yet in terms of guys that I've spoken about. Quite a bit. So interesting to see where they end up. Sam Marshall, the Brisbane Academy kid. So he'll end up there. 27 disposals in the championships, 4 clearances, 4 tackles. Just about the hardest running player. Brisbane will appreciate that athleticism. Him and Levi added to that group is awesome. They don't need tools anywhere. So he's just going to be a perfect fit there. And I feel for him a little bit because he probably deserves more airtime, more love, more appreciation. But he probably won't get it. The Lions Academy player. And there you go, to round out the 25, Jonty Fall, who I had as quite a reach to Geelong in my latest mock draft. I'm a massive fan. I really am a massive fan of what Jonty can do. Yes, he's had injuries, which has happened to quite a few top liners in this draft, but I love it. The kid doesn't stop moving, right? And you think of the great tall forwards that had such great aerobic capacity. You're probably thinking of Nick Riewoldt as the top of that chain. But even guys like Jared Ruffhead, who are able to go through the midfield, these kinds of players that are able to get on the move at all times, is just such a weapon. And I reckon he's got that in a massive way, does Jonty. So let's see if either of these players pop up with Cal. Still some players that we haven't seen at all. Still some players that have got quite some gaps in terms of the rankings. Sam Marshall, just spoke about. I like it. This draft really is deep. So banking picks here is going to be a good thing, I believe. I don't think we're going to get too many, say, like Hall of Fame superstars. I think we could really get a lot of 150-plus gamers in this draft, I really do. Christian Moraes, we've spoken about quite a bit, so we can move past Christian. Who else have we got? Yeah, Alex Dodson. Talked about Alex already. Here we go. Alexander Toru, I'm going to go with. Last name there. Now, first of all, Alex, I don't know where you were born. I'm actually going to see if it's written here. It isn't. Okay? But I want to have a chat to you, my friend. Well, not specifically to you. I want to have a chat to your mum and dad. Because of all the ways you could spell Alexander, that is wrong. Right? I'm probably being culturally offensive here. Right. Probably. I'm trying not to be. This is all humour. But XZ is not okay in terms of spelling. But again, also should have been in Hawthorn's Next Generation Academy and got rejected there too. So, yay. Awesome. Another one that copped some injuries. Have to watch a little bit more of him. In Vic Country, saw some footage, but probably don't have as big an understanding of him just yet. But, I'll work on that. Harrison Oliver, as a defender, got named in the All-Australian team in the back pocket, I reckon it was. Was really good against the Allies. Yeah, there you go. 25 touches at 84%. Genuinely tough. Won't take a backward step. Has some speed and power to take the game on. Love that in a massive way. I think a lot of clubs that maybe aren't in the midfield pool could snap on him quite early or earlier than expected. I don't mind the 25 range. I reckon that's about right. Yes, it is a midfielders draft and we've still got to respect it, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be midfielders running the show either, just quietly. And then we'll finish off Cal's 30 here. There you go. There's Matt Whitlock, who I genuinely believe is going to be a defender. I know he's kicked 5. I know he's, I've talked about him a lot. He's had 2 5-goals games for the Bushrangers, but he's able to adapt to defensive positions too. His running's ability is elite, as is Jack's. I still think he's going to be a defender. Maybe I'm being stubborn. We'll see. We'll see. My man Job Shanahan at 27. Not a massive difference there. Don't mind it. Jonty Fall. Spoken about Jonty already. Thomas Sims, another one who I've had some commenters get me onto that I've had a look at. Another tall forward prospect out of the Northern Knights. Big, strong, flies for his marks, generates shots on goal. Well, we like that. 7-goal, 4 performance from 15 kicks and 10 marks for the against the Western Jets. That's a pretty handy frickin' day out. 3-3 against WA for Vic Metro, and then had an almost day against Vic Country last week with 3 behinds. Well, look, Charlie Curnow kicked 3-7, so let's not knock the kid too much. Showed more than enough to be ranked alongside the other key position forwards in the group. The key position players are going to be at a premium in this draft. They really are. The depth of this draft is going to be fantastic. I'm looking forward to it in a big, big way. Even up the top, but deep. I like that. And there you go. There's my man, Noah Mraz, the guy that I have drafted to the Swans quite a few times in my mock drafts, who is just an absolute raw talent and someone that I'm going to enjoy watching throughout his career. Could do it all. I'm probably thinking he is a defender, but we shall have a look. All right, but again, it'll be up to team preference as well. Failed forwards have become defenders. That works. Liam Jones, very good defender. Was not a good forward. Robbie Tarrant, ditto. Right? So we'll see. But in terms of his raw ability, I am a Noah Mraz buyer in terms of stock. And then we can round this out by seeing what Jasper has done here. 26, Tom Gross. We've spoken about Tommy quite low compared to Cal. I think he was 20 for Cal, if my memory serves me right. Who have we got here? Harry O'Farrell, who did not feature in Cal's 30, I noticed. Interesting. You guys know I love my back shoulder defenders. You know I do. Stout key defender. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. With the reach to play from behind and recover with good closing speed. Sign me up. Right? Absolutely. Can take pack marks, has showed upside as a forward. No, none of this forward crap. Back shoulder, defender. Yes, please, and thank you. Excellent. Matt Whitlock. Talked about Matt already, so no Noel Mraz here. No Lucas Camporeale either, which I find interesting. Cooper Hines, yep, was in Cal's 30, and we finish off with Hamish Davis, the Claremont Western Australia forward mid, 190 centimetres. That's a handy start. Best avenue to goal he had 40 disposals and a goal against Claremont. Shit. That'll do. He's played off half-back in the wing as well. No, fuck that. If he's in the centre square having 40 and a snag, that's what we want. So Hamish Davis featuring there, not featuring in Cal's. Like I said, Lucas Camporeale not in either, which I found really interesting. But quite some differences there. So what do we take from this? Well, I think we take that the depth of this draft is going to be fantastic. We are not having a Matt Rowell, Sam Walsh, Jason Horne-Francis, Harley Reid, Jamara Ugle-Hagan type of pick one consensus. And I love that. It makes mock drafts harder, which I love. And we'll also bring in other draft ideas, which I'm looking forward to in a big way. So thank you guys for watching to my reactions. I might do some power ranking stuff with a Daz twist, but they're both of the Phantom Form guides and the draft rankings. I would love to talk to Cal. I would love to talk to Jasper on the channel. I reached out to Cal on Twitter, got some shares, didn't hear a thing, and I'll reach out to Jasper and hopefully can get him on for a chat in the coming months as we lead up to the AFL draft. If there's any players featured or not featured that you're excited to talk about, comment below, let me know. Click the like button, share with a footy-loving mate, especially if they're interested in the draft, and I'll see you next time.